Hi guys, welcome along to another edition of Build with A&E. In this episode, we're going to be visiting our Regency Renovation. We're going to show you exactly how we've renovated the chimney pots on top of the property and how we've installed the flue liners for both the Aga and the wood burner. So I'm up on the roof, and as you've just seen, the guys have been really busy getting these chimney pots on. They're just over there finishing the flaunching, and they're all done, and these here are all done. I've just uncovered the Hessian so you can have a look at these. They look absolutely mint. We've been using lime mortar on these as well because that's what you need to do on a grade 2 listed building. The flaunching they've done on here is absolutely brilliant. So now they're all going to match in nicely. Just want to talk a little bit about these. So these are C-caps. They are basically a vented cap for disused chimney stacks. They're a really good bit of kit. The colour match is fantastic because it's not a used chimney stack. You need to cap these off, but obviously they need to be vented as well, otherwise you will get damp issues throughout the house. So these are a great solution for that. So out of the box, this is exactly how they come. Like I said, it's called a C-cap. What we'll do is we'll just pop this off and then you can see what's inside. So there's a small clip in the middle which is screwed down, which is basically a retainer for the actual clips. Then there's the vented part, and then there's these two wire clips. So that bit goes on first. So that is the vented area, so obviously this allows the airflow to travel up and down the stack. Then the retaining wire goes in, like so, and then the retainer will go on top then to hold everything nicely in place. And that's it. That's exactly how it goes together, that simple. So these wires here push then inside the actual pot itself. So that will just go straight down the middle. Basically the friction of these pushing against the inside of the pot will hold it all in place. Because they are quite stiff, what it's advisable to do, if you're putting these onto an old pot, I would make sure that you do them before you actually flaunch everything in, maybe down on the ground, because they're very tight fit as you can see here. And if the pot had any cracks or anything like that in it, it might actually sort of destroy the pot. So you literally just pop that straight in, and that's it, absolutely solid, gonna go nowhere. There's no amount of wind in the world that will blow those off. And you've got the vent all the way around the outside, all the way around the perimeter there of the pot. Fantastic product, definitely recommend these. So let's take a look inside and see what we've been doing in the meantime. So the kitchen is ready for the decorators. All the plastering is completed in here. So we've also took that ceiling rose down there as well because the client Julie is getting 2 new roses for these ceilings. So we've removed that one, we've carefully removed it, actually managed to get it off in one piece, which is good. So that may be reinstated elsewhere. We've also had our flue guy come in. So this is the flue for the Aga. This is a special flue which actually eliminates any condensation because we've got about, I think it's about 12 meters up to the chimney pot. And there's obviously going to be a lot of heat generated from this Aga, which in turn will cause condensation, but this is a specially designed flue that will stop any condensation tracking back down and out into the Aga, because obviously that's the last thing we want is a pool of water in the Aga, because that would be pretty dangerous. So like I said, this is a specialist one. So this is installed here now. So when the Aga comes, there's a special chimney flue which comes up here and then will go into the wall. So it will connect onto this flue here and then be pushed neatly into there, and then there'll be a nice cover plate around the wall there as well. So we've got the decorator Foz coming in next week to get this room ready for the floor guy. We've got Floor Sand Solutions coming in to get the floor prepped and ready just in time for the kitchen to land. So that is what's gone on in here. You can see we've got a dehumidifier as well because there has been a bit of moisture come through because we've had some really extreme weather over the past week or so, and it has caused a little bit of damp because there's no render on that area at the minute. And we've got the plasterers to get that render on yesterday, so hopefully that'll help remedy that problem. Lime plaster on the walls has fully dried. That is why I'm using this dehumidifier. It's really important if you ever are doing any lime plastering to make sure that the plaster has fully gone off, because you need the calcification process to be fully completed before you actually pull any moisture out of the air, because all that will happen is it will basically just turn this to dust. It needs to calcify, which basically means it forms crystals and just solidifies within the wall itself. So the actual material has gone off, because lime can basically hang around for a long time. It needs to fully cure. And if you pull all the moisture out of it before that process has actually happened, all that's going to happen is it's just going to be really, really weak, and it will literally can just fall off the wall basically. So it's important to make sure that that is fully gone off before you use one of these machines. It's just kicking in now. And there we go. So all that does, like you can see, we left this on for a few hours yesterday, and it just pulls the water out of the air, any moisture, so that'll help us to dry this area out. And there's an area over there as well. Right, so that's the kitchen. Let's move out. Also, quick tip, if you are using a dehumidifier, make sure that you keep the door shut in that room, because otherwise all it's going to do is try and draw moisture from everywhere. So if you keep the area localised and sealed, then it's just going to pull moisture out of that one area. Lyndon's going to be making a start in here today. He's going to be getting the wood burning stove in there. You can see he's got the rope down and then the nose cone there. So what happens is this nose cone goes on flue liner, the rope gets attached, and then it'll go upstairs right at the top of the stack, and he will literally pull that rope right up and pull the liner straight up, and then it will be attached onto the chimney pot with a cowl, which is in here. So this cowl will sit on top of the chimney pot, and then the flue liner will actually sit in there, and then this will all lock in, and then there'll be a Jubilee clip which goes around the top. And then that's it. Stops any rain getting in, stops any birds getting in and nesting in the chimney as well, and make sure all the fumes can go straight out through the chimney. Our roofer Will has redone this roof because it was very damaged, and they'd done a very poor job before on it. Look at that excellent lead work. Somebody commented on one of Will's last videos about lead that some say, legend has it that Will eats lead for breakfast because he is a manly man and lead stands no chance against him, which I thought was an awesome little comment. Whoever you are, sorry I can't remember what your name was, but I did like that. It did make me chuckle. I'm sure Will will like it too. But yeah, look at that, that's very neat. Nice bit of lead work over there. He's had to reinstate this roof because it was in a very, very sad state. There was a lot of damage to the render down here as well, where they'd done some pretty shoddy repair work to it before. And also the fascia down there is completely rotten, so the guys are just repairing that now. We're just gonna replace that. All right, let's have a look upstairs. So they're just in here now, getting this manifold on. So basically this is the control hub for all the water which is going to go around on this level. Plenty of levers on there. Looks really nice as well. I think we're going to keep this without painting it or anything. It's going to be exposed because it is really quite an attractive bit of plumbing there. We like that. So there's a few more pipes to run. They started pressure testing yesterday. So once the pressure testing is completed, we can get all these floors nailed down fully because everything's just down temporary at the minute. In this room, we've got our aqua panel on the wall. We're using this system as a waterproofing system in this instance. We'll show you an installation video on that as well at some stage, I should imagine. We just need to get some insulation in these stud walls, but we're just waiting for that at the minute to drop. And also, once the pressure testing is done, we can then get on with that. Neil is getting these helibars in. So you may remember from a video that I showed you previously, these helibars are effectively a strengthening material. So basically you put these helibars in and then use this resin stuff, this special resin, which is here. It's basically like the anchor resin that we would use out of a tube, but this is a much more hardcore version of it. And you literally point this in then, and then once that's gone off, that's effectively like having a steel in the wall. It will just hold this all together nicely. There was a massive crack which had appeared down here, because this wall here wasn't actually a original wall. They'd sort of built this in afterwards and it had sort of split away a little bit. So we've decided to put these helibars in just to make sure it's reinforced nicely. So Neil's going to drop onto that. Once these are in, we can then crack on with this wall, get some more of this finished. Floor can go down in here. The reason this is ply is because this is being tiled and it's going to have a Schluter underfloor heating system in here as well. So we can't install any of that onto floorboards. So hence why the ply is on there. So that's about it. What I'll do is, as usual, I'll set up some time lapses so you can watch me and the guys working throughout the day. So the brush is all the way down to the bottom. So now what Lyndon's going to do is attach the draw cord to the top of it. I'm going to remove all this plastic sheeting, take this off, and then I'm going to literally pull his brush through. As that comes through, that will then pull the draw cord down. We can attach it then to the flue liner and then pull that back up, because rather than getting that massive reel up the top of the scaffold and drop it down, it's a much easier way just to pull it straight up this way. So I'll get this all uncovered and then we can pull the cord down. So we've just unrolled the flue liner and it is ready to go now. All we've got to do is just get the nose cone connected on like this, and then me and Jamie will go up the scaffold, pull that guide rope straight up, and then feed this liner through and up, and then it'll be installed. So yeah, let's go upstairs. So we're up on the roof and this is the part that's going to come through. All I've got to do basically is keep tension on this rope. The guys downstairs will be pushing the liner up and I've just got to make sure it doesn't fall back down. So yeah, there's been a bit of damage. Because this is lime mortar, it's obviously quite soft. It hasn't fully cured, and obviously getting this up is a bit of a tall order. Literally tall because it's about 15 meters up. And pulling this through is unfortunately just loosened the chimney pot off. So we've removed this now, but what that actually does is gives Lyndon a lot more access to get the vermiculite in, because getting this duct in through something this size, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So now at least, you know, the silver lining is that he'll be able to get the vermiculite in there a lot easier, which means we'll have to patch this in afterwards and you'll never know there was an issue. So the liner's up where we need it to be. Bit of a stretch getting in there, to be honest. There's a few bends, a few dog legs up the chimney, which has caused it to obviously catch in various places. So unfortunately, you know, we are going to have to reset the chimney, but that does also mean now that there's going to be extra access for Lyndon to get the vermiculite down the sides. This liner needs to actually be insulated, so the vermiculite will need to go around that, so that will actually make his life a lot easier. So that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. As ever, if you have, please like, comment and subscribe. You've been watching me, John, and the guys from Build with A&E. Until next time, stay safe.